Hello, Internet. This is Chuck, and it's been 10 years. Wow. Today is May 10th, 2020. Approximately 10 years ago, on May 7th of 2010, I stopped being homeless. From March, no, I'm sorry, from February. From February of 2010 till May 7th, 2010, I was homeless and living in Ann Arbor, out of a shelter. It's been 10 long years. A lot has happened. And we're going to go through it. Not all of it, of course. It'd be a super long video. But give you the highlights of the last 10 years. So, yeah. Although my homeless adventure ended May 7th of 2010, I still put out, I think, 3 or 4 videos, which were just updates after the fact. What's been going on? I've moved to so many places. It was living in Ann Arbor, of course, and then I moved in with my friend Jake in Dexter for a year, and then I moved to Taylor, where I spent a few months living with my friend Brent and his family, and then moved in with my friend Chrissy and her boyfriend Jason. The 3 of us shared the rent on a house, and we lived there for 6 years. I don't think I moved out of there until 2017. And then I got I moved into a house with my friend Brent again because he needed a place to live for about a year. And then after that, I moved into this apartment, 2-bedroom apartment, living by myself for the first time since 2006. So that's my living situation. Work situation. Shortly after moving in with my friend Jake, I started working at Arby's, and then Jake decided to start up a contracting company, and I worked with him for several years. And after that, I did fire alarm safety, security system installation. I worked at a few automotive places, Ford test facilities, basically. And then I found my current job, which I've been at for over 3 years now, with Innkeeper LLC, and we do custom test equipment, refits, and retrofits for automotive test laboratories. So a little bit of the same vein as my last job, but also with a lot more electronics. Speaking of electronics, right before all the homeless stuff started, I was going back to Washtenaw Community College because I wanted to try to get my degree in electronics of some sort. And of course that didn't work out because things happened and I ended up losing my job, losing my place, and ended up homeless. Go figure. And so in 2012, when I moved in with Chrissy and Jason and Taylor, I decided I was going to go back to school. And I did that from 2012 to 2016, so it took 4 years, but I got my associates in electrical technology. The diploma is actually sitting behind the camera, but it's buried beneath stuff, so I'm not going to dig it out. But yeah, college degree, and that allowed me to get the job I have now, where I'm really happy. I like the place. I'm doing electronic stuff. It's a small business, so everyone's kind of everyone knows each other, and we all get along, and we have to because it's a small business. Plus, it's a big kid job. I'm getting a really good paycheck, and I have health insurance, and I have 401k, a retirement plan, things like that. So, yeah. So, while I have gained lots of good things, I've also gained a lot of bad things. I'm quite a bit thicker than I used to be. I was watching through some of my old videos, and I was a lot more lean. Also, I had a lot more hair. And I'm not just talking about just had a haircut, but I had hair coming down to here. And no, there's a lot more forehead here. Plus whatever's missing up here. Anyway, 10 years has done a lot. Added some stuff, took away some stuff. But yeah. So I was going through some old boxes, some things I have packed away, and I found the camera that I recorded my homeless truck videos with. It's a GFM brand Walmart, cheapo video camera that also takes pictures, but also can do music and apparently is an ebook reader of some sort. But it's got this, flip out display, which goes full to the front, and you can see yourself. How about that? It's missing the front lens, which it's been missing since I was, since back then. I was recording on it with that gone all the time. It was just an adjustment for focus, and it didn't really help because I was always holding it. I could just adjust my focus by doing this. It was easy. But yeah, I'm going to record a little clip while this is recording. I can put it in the bottom corner and just see the difference of video camera quality from something cheap in 2010 to my new phone here, which is a OnePlus 7T. But actually, yeah, let's turn this around and do this. All right, this is a test recording on the what do you call it? The homeless truck camera. Lighting is terrible in here. This camera is doing all right. This one is terrible. But there I am. Ta-da! Wow. And then yeah, look at this. Movie, picture, music, voice, and ebook. They tried to cram as much as they could in these cheap little things. But yeah, there it is. I put a 16 gigabyte SD card in here, which I think when I was originally using it, I was using a 2, maybe a 4, because 16 was well out of the realm of possibilities with my budget at the time. Speaking of which, my budget, I don't know if I went over this too much in my homeless truck videos, but I was not collecting unemployment during that time. My main source of income was selling plasma at a Octapharma. I think it was Octapharma at the time, but basically a plasma place in Ypsilanti, and I went in there twice a week to sell plasma, and they changed the prices over the time I was there, but it was usually like $35 for the first visit in a week, $25 for the second visit. So I was making away with $60 a week. So do the math, that's $240 a month. That was enough to afford basically the phone plan that I was still paying for, and I had a student loan payment that I was still doing, even though I could have probably applied to put that in forbearance on account of being jobless. But I didn't. I forgot. Or I just didn't know how, or didn't know about it at all. Either way. But yeah, I don't know if income ever came up during all that. But yeah, I did do a few videos from right by the plasma place. The Commander Bob video, but also the bit with the stuffed animals nailed to the pole. Those were both right across the street from the plasma place. But yeah, so that's how I made away with, or that's how I had money. Of course, I also had a bridge card, so that's how I got a lot of food when I wasn't taking advantage of the free meals and the food drives, or the free pantry that they would have for people throughout the time I was there. Yeah. Ooh. But that's what I did for finances and food during the time. I don't know if that was ever clear during the videos, but there it is. There was a moment, not very many, maybe 1 or 2 moments during the time where I was homeless, where I thought, but could this be the best I could do? I had, at that point, 3 to 3.5 really good years leading up to that point, from the time of moving out of my parents' house to the time I was homeless. 3 really good years. Made lots of friends, had lots of adventures, had good times, and then that happened. So there were some moments where I was like, could this be it? Could this be the this be the best I could do. And thankfully it wasn't, because of very generous people like Jake and my boss at Arby's, who gave me a chance, even though things probably looked pretty shady on his end, or looked pretty shady for me. Um, I was I was applying for jobs and doing interviews while giving as little information as possible. Like, oh, hey, you were living here, you were working for here for a few years, you were going to school. What happened? Like, oh, I moved. that was all I told people. Yeah, but it was enough for this one guy. And then, Brent and his family for taking me in, Chrissy and Jason for extending the offer of sharing a place, and so thank you, all of you, for helping me out when I needed it. You didn't have to. I may not have seemed appreciative at the time, but trust me, I'm very appreciative. So thank you, thank you, thank you, all of you. Watching through those old videos again, it's I was such a different person back then. I'm not too different nowadays, but through most of that, I was pretty hopeful. I was pretty positive about the future, and did not think that in 10 years' time I'd be living in where I am now. But then again, the story's not over yet. This is just another chapter. There's been quite a few chapters since then, and hopefully there'll be a lot more chapters to go. But anyway, thank you very much, everyone, for watching and reminiscing and just joining me and looking back at what happened 10 years ago and what I decided to put on the internet for people to see. And so, thank you very much, everyone, for watching, and thank you for enjoying these videos and reminiscing with me. So I shall bid you farewell. Be kind to each other, eat fruit, and take care of yourselves. So long.
Well, that's what happened in Ann Arbor this week. Once again, I am Homeless Chuck, and thanks for watching.